Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, December 4th, 2018. I am Investor into with the details. High Court Judge Justice Esco Henry today recused herself from the election petitions case. This comes 4 days after Justice Henry granted an application that the hearing be postponed to February 11, 2019. One of the lawyers for the petitioners and Senator for the opposition New Democratic Party, K. Bacchus-Baptiste, told SVG-TV News that Justice Henry summoned all lawyers who have cases before her for the 3rd, 4th and 5th of December, including lawyers for the petitioners and respondents in the petitions case to her chambers today. Bacchus-Baptiste explained what they were told as it relates to the petitions case.
Got there this morning, she said that when she vacated the date for the petition on Friday, and she got back to her office, she was informed by her clerk that she had matters set down for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She said that she was not aware of them before, and she was very concerned that the public may perceive that she had foreknowledge that the petition was going to be vacated, and that is why matters were set down for the week when the petition should be heard.
Bacchus-Baptiste further explained that Justice Henry gave everyone at the meeting an opportunity to voice their opinion on her position and stated the reason why she arrived at the decision to recuse herself from the case.
She invited the lawyers to make comments on both sides, for the petitioners as well as for the respondents. We said that we understood her position and we think that she did the right thing, but there was no need for any further step. Nevertheless, she said that she quoted from that well-known case that justice must seem to be done, and it was not a question of what the parties thought so much as how the general public would perceive it, and she was very concerned that her reputation could well be tarnished, and it may be perceived that she had foreknowledge that the petition was going to be put off, and that is why these fixtures were made.
Bacchus-Baptiste expressed disappointment at the new development and said it is their hope that a new trial judge will be appointed soon. Bacchus-Baptiste also said that the fixtures of 12 matters to be heard by Justice Henry during the time which had previously been dedicated to the hearing of the 2 petitions challenging the results of the December 2015 general elections should be examined as to how the registrar made such an error.
Of course, we are disappointed, because it means now that the Chief Justice is going to have to appoint a new judge to hear the matter. Of course, it is perplexing that not 1 or 2 or 3, but 12 matters would be fixed by the registry to be heard during the week when the petition should be heard. I think it disturbed Justice Henry, and it disturbs the petitioners. We do not know who made the fixtures, but it was obviously made by the registrar. And the fact that it has led her to recuse herself is something that should be looked into. What caused it? Who made these fixtures?
Lawyer Carlos James, who is on the respondents' team, said that they too respect Justice Henry's decision to recuse herself from the case. James told SVG-TV News that Justice Henry made a decision which she felt was necessary and one which they support.
This is at no fault of the judge. She is an excellent jurist and of high competence and integrity. But she later became aware that these matters were listed simultaneously as the dates for hearing of the election petitions. And it is on that basis that she felt that it was necessary to hear all the parties involved who more or less agreed that it was an administrative error of the court office. We expressed full confidence in her as the trial judge in the matter, but she felt that out of caution it was prudent for her to recuse herself in the matter.
James said he is hopeful that a new judge will be appointed in time to hear their cases come next year.
At this stage, both parties, well, I can speak for the 3rd respondents in the matter, Sir Louis Scrip and Montgomery Daniel. We respect the decision of the trial judge, and we now await the court's position in terms of having a new judge being appointed to hear the matter, and there's sufficient time for us to proceed on February 11th.
James filed a motion on behalf of the respondents, asking for the matter to be adjourned on the basis that lead lawyer Graham Bollers is on medical leave.
we had the issue of one of the lawyers for the respondent who had become suddenly ill in relation to some matters which he had to attend to. Hence the reason why we had sought, by way of a motion to the court, an adjournment to vacate the dates December 3rd to 7th.
Meanwhile, the lawyers for the petitioners and the respondents said they remain confident in the court system moving forward. The case, which has already been before 2 judges, will go before a 3rd judge once an appointed can be made before February 11, 2019.
Well, we've always expressed that, from time immemorial, we're developing democracies in Vincent, and we've always ascribed that, we have had free and fair elections, and this is something we don't want to ventilate a matter in the public domain now via this interview, but the defendants are prepared to go to court and defend their good name and reputation. That they were duly elected as the members of parliament for both Central Leeward and North Windward.
So we are very confident about our case, and we are moving forward. We are resolute on that. So we will call upon the Chief Justice to, as he said, expeditiously appoint someone to take the place of Justice Henry.
Former leader of the opposition New Democratic Party and economist Arnim Eustace believes that the sale of the operations of Scotiabank in 9 Caribbean countries, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, will affect their corresponding banking relationships with other territories. Eustace, who was speaking on the NDP's New Times radio program today, said the situation, rightfully so, is a talking point across the region, with concerns expressed about the OECS foreign reserves. Eustace said the correspondence services which the bank provides is crucial to persons wishing to conduct business in overseas territories. He said the loss of Scotiabank would be a blow in this regard.
However it is sold, we're going to lose one of the corresponding banks. And we only have 3 who represent us in our transactions all over the world.
And what kind of effect this will have on us?
Well, if you're not dealing with people who are known and trusted internationally as your correspondent bank, people are not going to do business with them overseas. So we pay them to do that service for us, to avoid us having to establish banks all about. So they are our corresponding banks. And I want people to understand that. I'm trying to put it in just basic. So, if Scotiabank is going to be sold, then we lose in one of our corresponding banks. And I think that is one of the major effects of this particular. That's my view on it. And
Eustace explained that given the level of trust that Scotiabank has attained internationally, it makes it easy for it to provide corresponding banking services which otherwise will be difficult for local banks.
With any country in the world with whom we have financial arrangements, will accept with confidence correspondent banks like Bank of Nova Scotia, because they're big banks with big reputations.
Right.
We don't have that reputation. We're not big enough. So the corresponding banking relationship is critical if we are to carry out our business, our OECS bank's business in the rest of the world. I just want people to grasp that concept. That there are banks that are treated, accepted all over the world, wherever it is. And if they represent you anywhere in the world, their word is accepted.
Meanwhile, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has encouraged residents in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union to remain calm following the news of an agreement that will see Trinidad-based Republic Financial Holdings Limited acquire the Bank of Nova Scotia's operations in 9 Caribbean territories. In a statement issued on December 1, 2018, the central bank said it received an application from Republic Financial Holdings on Tuesday, November 27th, seeking regulatory approval to acquire the Bank of Nova Scotia's operations and businesses in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, and that it has since commenced a review of this application pursuant to the Banking Act. Teachers and students of the Mary Hutchinson Primary School were forced to evacuate the school building today, reportedly because of another sewage problem. President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, Wendy Bino, said that they have not asked the teachers to withdraw services. However, if the problem is not resolved, they will have no choice but to do so.
Well, as it stands, members are outside of the school, they're in the yard, and if there isn't a speedy resolution, we are going to have to ask our members to withdraw services until the matter is rectified. We tried to contact the relevant authorities in the Ministry of Education, but we have not been able to reach anyone. And we really hope that there's the initiative of the child-friendly school. We hope that they can take that into account and ensure that Mary Hutchinson Primary is a child-friendly school.
Bino said that on Monday, some executive members of the union visited schools on Union Island and found several of the buildings to be in total disrepair.
We've had reports of cracks on the physical structure of the building, cracks everywhere, corridors, walls, everywhere. There are cracks. The stage is seriously compromised. It is unsafe. Everything is rotting. There's leakage in the IT lab, and we also have exposed electrical wires, malfunctioning toilets, inadequate water supply, so there's an issue with them getting water to flush toilets and also to cook, poor drainage, termites infestation. So this school is in total disrepair.
Bino is appealing to the Ministry of Education to seriously address the issues at these schools and make them child-friendly.
We at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union take our responsibilities and commitment to our members and to the profession with utmost seriousness. And in light of this, we call on the authorities to move expeditiously to ensure that our schools are health-promoting schools, that they're non-threatening to teachers and to the nation's children. We believe that the health, safety and security of our students depend on the health, safety and security of our members.
The Mary Hutchinson Primary School in Union Island is the third school in days to be affected by sewage problems. The other two schools being the Kingston Preparatory and the Lomans Anglican on mainland St. Vincent. As persons here continue to make use of the hunting season, the Forestry Department is appealing to hunters to avoid unsustainable hunting practices. The hunting season ends on the 31st of January. Director of Forestry Fitzgerald Providence said while it is currently okay to hunt for iguana, agouti and manikou, persons should avoid those that are undersized and still at the infancy stage.
A few reports of persons being found with undersized iguanas, and we are concerned that these iguanas are too young and immature, so that it's best that they be left to mature, to reproduce, so that the population of the iguanas remains sustainable. The size, we don't want persons hunting iguanas under the size of 13 inches. That's from the tip of the nose to the beginning of the tail. Not including the tail, it's just the tip of the nose to the beginning of the tail. And we ask that persons do not hunt these undersized animals. Also, if you meet animals with young, like the manikou, that you avoid that. And also the small manikou. It's not good to hunt the undersized animals because they're immature, and in order to sustain populations of our wild species, we need to keep the young alive and also that they can reach productive age.
Providence is also reminding hunters to avoid trespassing on private property, whether it is fenced or not. He said they should also not hunt in any of the forest reserves.
These include the Kingsville Forest Reserve, the Cumberland Forest Reserve, and the St. Vincent Parrot Reserve, which is the center of the island, and include areas such as the Vermont Nature Trails. Also the islands offshore, wildlife reserves, mainly for the birds. And we again ask persons that it's coming to the nesting season for the seabirds, and it's illegal to go on these islands and burn them or to go and harvest the eggs of these birds on these nesting islands. And we have a good poultry production here where eggs are always available, but when persons trespass, they actually destroy the habitat of the islands and also the nesting areas for the birds, and also affect the population of the birds that nest on these islands. Goods, Baliso, Bataway, Chateaubriand Islet, the small island north of Layou, and all the most, if not all, of the Grenadine Islands are wildlife reserves.
An air rifle is the preferred tool used by hunters. However, Providence cautioned against using such rifles near utility poles.
Rifles and air rifles are legal in terms of hunting, but we ask persons not to just, without discretion, shoot small animals. Also, if you're hunting birds, we ask that you desist from hunting them when they land on electricity or utility poles or utility lines, because that can damage the lines and be an impact, can be a costly impact on the communities, and also on the just to repair those lines. So we ask persons not to shoot animals when they're on the utility poles or on the utility lines.
The police are investigating a report of robbery made by a 70-year-old businessman of Clifton, Union Island, against an armed unknown person. The police say information received is that about 9:10 p.m. on November 29th at Clifton, Union Island, the accused person allegedly robbed the complainant at gunpoint and stole from him 3 checks. 2 of the checks are made out in the sum total of $29,878 EC dollars, while the other check carries a sum total of $5,580 US dollars. Police are asking the financial institutions to be on the alert for persons attempting to solicit fraudulent transactions. In more police news, 27-year-old Kareem Charles and 18-year-old Shamal Richardson, both of Redemption Sharps, have been arrested and charged with attempted murder, illegal firearm and ammunition possession. According to the police, about 6:30 p.m. on November 24th at Grenville Street, Kingstown, the accused men, being armed with a firearm, allegedly attempted to commit the offense of murder on a 16-year-old laborer, also of Redemption Sharps, by pointing the gun and squeezing the trigger at him. The men were also charged with attempting to discharge the firearm within 100 feet of the public road and with having in their possession 1.38 revolver and 5 rounds of ammunition without a license issued under the Firearms Act. Both men are expected to appear before the Serious Offences Court to answer the charges.